I'm in a boring industry. Will social media work for me? Everyone wants me to say, no, it won't work for you. And we lovingly call these boring industries are generally, they're B2B brands. So businesses that are selling to other businesses. Many of our prospects have this conception that those businesses, or the people who work in those businesses and make buying decisions for those businesses, aren't on social. It's a myth, and we kind of myth busted in a previous video. But these B2B brands and these boring industries, other boring industries, technology, manufacturing, software, finances, all of them seem to deem, medical, they seem to have sold themselves a story of social can't work for me. It obviously makes sense for a home decor company. It makes sense for a lifestyle brand like a clothing company or jewelry company or stationery, but it doesn't make sense for me when I'm looking for other business owners to sell to. I will simply say we recently redid our case study PDF, and I think there's 4 case studies in there. One is a business to consumer brand, an e-commerce brand where we were trying to get traffic from Facebook over to her site. And we had a really great success with decreasing her cost per click so she could get more people. That was a B2B or B2C brand. The other 3 case studies in there, which are amazing, happen to be B2B brands in what I would, laughingly call a very boring industry. It's a software company. Not only is it a software company, but it sells its software specifically and only to engineers. This is not like the space that you think of, when you think of social media marketing, right? Like software, and not only software, but engineers. We did well there for a variety of reasons, but I think the biggest reason we did well there, one was we had great content. We had content that the boring industries just don't produce. Like we did a lot of content with Star Wars and in conjunction with one of their partners. It was awesome. But I think the biggest reason for success was that we did some very laser targeting with metadata. So we were specifically targeting people with specific engineering degrees, because their software, depending on which software we're selling, it goes to a different type of engineer. So we're looking at degrees, we're looking at job titles, we're looking at industries that they've identified, we're looking at places where they work, we're looking at conferences they attend, associations they might be involved with. All of these things are helping us understand exactly who we're targeting. So the population of Facebook, for example, it's something staggering, like maybe 1 billion people are users on Facebook. I can't remember the exact number, but it's an insane number like that. For this company and for any of our clients, we're not targeting 1 billion users. Generally, we might be targeting, maybe there's 100,000 of these people that would buy from them, or maybe there's 10,000. Whatever those numbers are, we need to get laser targeted in the way that we are getting in front of them. And that makes all the difference in the world as far as successful campaigns and not successful campaigns. So the case studies, there's 2 points that I want to call out. One is for this campaign, we actually delivered a 40% increase in traffic to their product trial download page. Their best indicator of growth increases, and one of the best ways to funnel people through their system, is to get them to trial the product through this particular page. And so by having content that drove traffic to that page and increasing it by 40%, that most definitely made an impact on their business, because those people were targeted. They weren't just anyone out there clicking on this content, because I don't know, we're all busy, and I don't think anyone just clicks on engineering software content if they're not at least an engineer, right? And so that was one case study. The other case study is this client of ours happens to be about the number 3 in the market. There's 2 other brands that are quite a bit bigger than them, and the number 1 in the market is substantially bigger than them. And so we set out with a hefty goal. The way that this client works is they sell their software at a really high ticket price, and they only sell it every couple of years to their clients. And so what they really want to do is keep these people engaged and keep their brand top of mind. So as that couple of years comes up and they're ready to buy again, our client's brand is top of mind, and it's the one that their client will choose. So we actually worked with Quintly on building a custom platform. What we wanted to know is, of all the social media conversations across the globe that are about software, and specifically software for engineers, we wanted to know what percentage of those conversations, what percent of conversation share did our client currently have. In this study, I think that conversation share was something between 11 and 14%. I don't remember the exact number, but after we started working on their accounts, within about 3 to 6 months, we increased that conversation share to 26%, which was awesome. Like, this is not the number 1 brand in the market, it's the number 3, and we're basically trying to climb the ladder to get more and more engagement. Now, 26%, I quite honestly was happy. I'm like, oh my gosh, we basically doubled their original number. Lots of people are talking about it, and you're like, oh no. Our goal is 51%. We want to have more than half of those conversations. We want those to be about our brand. After a year-long study of this, we actually ended the year, I think it was 51.4%, like by the skin of our teeth. But to understand how huge this is, all of these brands are Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 companies. And so they are like mega brands. So catching up and gaining ground is not the easiest position to be in for a mega brand. You're going against some really deep pockets. So that was a really big success. And then just after the year mark, maybe a month or 2 after that full year, we've been at 56%, and we've maintained that for them. And so when I hear I'm a B2B brand, I can't do well on social, instantly it clicks in me like, hey, to be honest, our best case studies are B2B brands. And then I share those things with them, and they're like, oh, I see. Like, it's just a different strategy and a different way about utilizing the social plan. It's coming up with something that makes sense for your brand, and for the vision of the brand and the goals of the brand. So keep that in mind when clients push back or anyone myth bust that one. B2B brands do really well on social.